A 2023 peer-reviewed study revealed that just one so-called healthy fat, yes, the kind you probably eat daily, can increase your risk of heart disease by 35%, inflame your knees by 48%, and slash your walking strength by 41%. All in just 90 days. And the worst part, more than 99% of seniors have no idea this is happening to their bodies every single day. Why? Because the food industry has spent billions of dollars convincing you that clean fats are your best friends after 60. But the truth is, 4 of the most common fats in your kitchen right now are silently destroying your joints, clogging your arteries, and accelerating leg muscle loss. These fats are hiding in your favorite spreads, snacks, and even so-called healthy meals. And you won't hear about them on the evening news, because they fuel a trillion-dollar industry. But today, science is pulling back the curtain. In this video, we're going to uncover the 4 worst fats you should never touch, and more importantly, the 4 best fats you need to eat daily to rebuild leg strength, reduce inflammation, and feel 20 years younger, all ranked from least to most dangerous. And trust me, you don't want to miss Fat Murder 1. It could cut your joint pain by up to 60% according to recent clinical trials. So get ready. The truth may shock you. And before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Senior Life to protect your health and help others do the same. Right now, let's take a look at 4 dangerous fats you should avoid after the age of 60. In spot number 4, heavy cream. Did you know that the cream in your morning coffee might be shrinking your leg muscles and stiffening your arteries without you even realizing it? Let's talk about full-fat dairy creamers, especially for seniors and those approaching their 60s. I've been a physician for over 3 decades, and one thing I've learned is this: sometimes it's the smallest, most innocent-seeming habits, like that splash of cream, that do the most harm over time. These creamers are packed with saturated fats, which have a thickening effect on your blood. According to a 2023 meta-analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, diets high in saturated fats are linked to a 35% increased risk of cardiovascular disease in people over age 55. That's not just theory, it's hard science backed by decades of data. Even more concerning, full-fat creamers have been shown to raise C-reactive protein CRP, a key marker of inflammation in the body. In fact, the Framingham Heart Study, one of the largest heart health studies in U.S. history, found that elevated CRP levels in older adults correlated with a 48% greater chance of developing leg artery blockages. And what does that mean in real life? Poor blood flow to the legs. Cold feet. Leg pain when walking. Muscle fatigue. And in advanced cases, reduced muscle strength and even muscle atrophy in the lower limbs. In a 2022 report from the National Institute on Aging Seniors with High Saturated Fat Intake, showed up to 41% loss of walking strength over a 3-month period compared to those who switched to healthier plant-based fats. That's a huge difference for anyone trying to stay active and independent in their 60s, 70s, or beyond. Let me give you a real-world example. My patient Linda, a 72-year-old retired schoolteacher from Missouri, came to see me about constant stiffness in her knees. She wasn't diabetic, and her cholesterol wasn't alarming. But her CRP levels were high, and her legs felt heavy by mid-morning. The culprit: she was adding 3 tablespoons of full-fat creamer to her coffee each day, 1 with breakfast, 1 after lunch, and 1 before bed. We cut it out. She switched to unsweetened almond milk and began taking short daily walks. Within a month, her CRP dropped by over 20%, and she told me, "Doctor, I can finally get through a full day without sitting down every hour." Now, you may be wondering, is fat always bad? No, not at all. In fact, certain fats are essential, especially for brain and joint health. But the type and source of fat matters more than ever as we age. Here are 3 tips. I give my patients: switch to plant-based, unsweetened milk alternatives. Almond milk, oat milk, cashew. Milk or coconut milk, unsweetened, are lower in saturated fat and easier to digest for aging digestive systems. Watch for hidden saturated fats in your labels. Even if it says natural or organic, always check the saturated fat grams per serving. Anything above 1 g per tablespoon in a creamer is a red flag. Add anti-inflammatory flavors instead of cream. Try cinnamon, turmeric, or even a few drops of vanilla extract. They add warmth and depth without the inflammation. Now let's pause here. If you're over 60 and experience cold feet, puffy ankles, or leg weakness, it might not just be your age catching up with you. It could be something as simple and fixable as your morning coffee routine. In spot number 3, chia seeds, when consumed in excess. You've probably heard that chia seeds are a superfood, but what if I told you that too much of this superfood could actually slow down your digestion, spike your triglycerides, and weaken your nutrient absorption? Especially in seniors, I've had many patients in their 60s and 70s come into my clinic with complaints like bloating, gassiness, or unexpected weight gain, despite eating clean. And guess what? I often find they've been tossing huge spoonfuls of chia seeds into everything from smoothies to oatmeal, thinking they're doing something great for their heart. Now, don't get me wrong. Chia seeds can be healthy, but only in the right amount and with the right preparation. According to a 2022 review published in Nutrition Today, chia seeds are rich in ALA alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3. But here's the catch: the human body only converts less than 5% of that ALA into the active forms EPA and DHA, the types your heart, brain, and joints actually need. So you might be loading up on chia for omega-3 benefits, and still not getting the anti-inflammatory payoff you were hoping for. Worse, excess chia, especially when not soaked properly, can cause bloating, slow down fat digestion, and even interfere with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. That's a big concern for older adults who are already prone to nutrient deficiencies and poor gut motility. So here's what I recommend. Limit your intake to 1 to 2 tablespoons a day max. Soak chia seeds overnight. This makes them easier to digest and reduces their binding effect in the gut. Pair them with lean protein like eggs, yogurt, or fish to support omega-3 conversion and balance your blood fats. And don't forget to drink more water. Chia absorbs up to 12 times its weight in liquid. So how do you know if chia might be working against you? Watch for feeling overly full after small meals, excess gas or belly bloating, constipation despite high fiber, unexplained triglyceride spikes. In spot number 2, avocado oil. Avocado oil has been marketed as the golden fat for healthy aging, but research now shows that too much of it could actually slow fat metabolism, trigger inflammation, and suppress critical hormones like DHEA and testosterone in people over 60. That's not something the food industry wants to talk about. But as a physician who's treated thousands of seniors, I see this issue far more often than you'd think. Let's break it down. Avocados and their oil are rich in monounsaturated fats, especially oleic acid. These fats are generally heart-healthy in moderation. But what happens when someone in their 60s or 70s starts using multiple tablespoons of avocado oil daily, or eats half an avocado or more with every meal? The body starts struggling to keep up. A 2023 study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that post-meal intake of excess monounsaturated fat led to a measurable decrease in DHEA and free testosterone levels in men and women over 60. DHEA plays a crucial role in muscle maintenance, fat burning, and hormonal balance. When DHEA drops, you may feel more tired, store more abdominal fat, and even notice slower muscle recovery. It's not just about hormones, though. In a 2022 report by the National Institute on Aging researchers found that seniors consuming over 35% of their daily calories from monounsaturated fats had slower lipid clearance, delayed stomach emptying, and a 20% higher likelihood of experiencing post-meal bloating or indigestion, especially when combined with other fats like nuts or cheese. That's because even though avocado oil is clean, it's still a dense fat, and aging digestive systems are simply less efficient at breaking down and moving fats through the gut. Doctor's guidelines. Stick to a serving size of 1/4 avocado per meal, especially if you're over 60. If you use avocado oil, limit it to 1 teaspoon per meal, and don't use it for frying. Use it raw, like in a salad drizzle. Never pair avocado oil with other high-fat items like cheese, full-fat meats, or creamy dressings. It overloads the digestive system. Balance your fats with lean protein. This improves fat metabolism and reduces post-meal fatigue. And most importantly, listen to your gut. If you feel bloated, heavy, or tired after your avocado-packed lunch, that's a red flag. In the number 1 spot and the most dangerous fat from processed meats. 1 slice of bacon a day can raise your risk of heart disease by over 40%. And that's not a theory, that's straight from the data. Now imagine how that adds up for someone who's eaten deli meat sausage or processed ham every day for 30 years. Let's talk about processed meat fats and why they're especially harmful for older adults. I've seen countless patients in their 60s and 70s struggle with chronic fatigue, stiff legs, poor blood sugar control, and nagging inflammation. And when we review their diets, one thing shows up almost every time: bacon at breakfast, ham sandwiches for lunch, or hot dogs at family cookouts. You might think, but it's just meat, not quite. Processed meats are a different beast. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health people who eat just 1 serving of processed meat per day, that's 2 slices of bacon, or a single sausage link, have a 42% increased risk of developing coronary heart disease and a 19% higher risk of dying early from any cause compared to those who don't. But here's the kicker. It's not just the meat, it's the fat inside it that's doing most of the damage. When meat is cured, smoked, or preserved, its fats often become oxidized, a chemical change that makes them inflammatory. These oxidized fats increase C-reactive protein CRP and interleukin-6, IL-6, 2 major markers of systemic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is the root of almost every disease we see in older adults: heart disease, arthritis, insulin resistance, even memory loss. A 2022 study from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, tracked over 500,000 people and found that high intake of processed meats was significantly associated with increased levels of arterial stiffness, particularly in those over age 60. That means reduced blood flow to the legs, higher risk of blood clots, and more strain on the heart. Another major concern: insulin dysfunction. The American Diabetes Association published findings in 2023 showing that frequent consumption of processed meat fats was linked to a 33% increased risk of insulin resistance, even in people who weren't overweight. That's a massive red flag for prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, which are already rampant among seniors in the U.S. Let me give you a patient example. Joyce, 71, a retired librarian from Michigan, came to my clinic with frequent dizziness, swelling in her ankles, and brain fog. She wasn't on any fast food, but she ate turkey deli slices, daily, added bacon bits to her salads, and loved sausage patties for breakfast. Her CRP was elevated, her fasting insulin was borderline high, and her LDL cholesterol had crept up. We eliminated all processed meats from her diet for 6 weeks. She replaced them with home-cooked turkey breast, slow-roasted lean pork, and grilled fish. Her CRP dropped by 40%, insulin normalized, and she told me she could finally think clearly again in the afternoons. So what's the big picture here? Processed meat fats don't just raise cholesterol. They hijack your hormones, damage your blood vessels, and slow down your metabolism, especially dangerous when your body is already aging. Here's what I recommend for anyone over 50. Avoid processed meats like bacon, sausage deli slices, hot dogs, and meat sticks. Choose fresh cuts, roast chicken, grilled fish, lean ground beef or turkey. Cook smart roast bake or stew. Avoid frying in added oils. Add herbs for flavor. Rosemary, garlic, black pepper, and smoked paprika. Give that savory kick without the oxidative damage. Stay hydrated. Processed meats are high in sodium, which worsens blood pressure and kidney strain in seniors. Next, let's explore 4 healthy fats that people over 60 should add to their diet. In spot number 4, egg yolks. First, let's talk about what's inside the yolk. Egg yolks are rich in vitamin D, choline, lutein, zeaxanthin, and phospholipids, a powerful combo for aging muscles, brains, and hormones. Vitamin D in egg yolks plays a key role in preserving muscle mass as we age. According to a 2021 study in the Journal of the Endocrine Society, older adults with sufficient vitamin D levels retained 25% more lower limb strength than those who were deficient. Additionally, high-quality protein from eggs, especially when paired with the fat in the yolk, enhances muscle protein synthesis, which is vital to prevent sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. I had a patient named Earl 69, a retired firefighter from North Carolina. He was struggling with balance and leg fatigue. Lab results showed low vitamin D and borderline low testosterone. We added 2 whole eggs boiled per week to his routine, alongside a bit more walking and water intake. 3 months later, Earl said, "Doc, I can climb stairs again without grabbing the rail." One of the most powerful nutrients in egg yolks is choline. It's essential for making acetylcholine a neurotransmitter that supports learning, memory, and focus. The Framingham Offspring study showed that adults with higher choline intake had 28% lower risk of cognitive decline and significantly better verbal memory performance. Plus, egg yolks are a natural source of lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants better known for eye health, but now proven to accumulate in the brain. A 2017 study from the University of Illinois found that older adults with higher brain lutein levels had faster information processing and better attention scores. And it's not just theory, I've seen it in practice. Linda, 73, a former teacher from Minnesota, was sharp, but started forgetting details and felt mentally slower after lunch. We added soft-boiled eggs twice a week to her diet and encouraged more leafy greens. After 6 weeks, she said her focus had improved and she no longer felt that post-meal brain fog. Egg yolks are one of the few natural sources of phospholipids molecules that help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, and build hormones like DHEA and testosterone. In aging adults, low-fat diets can actually backfire, leading to low energy, low libido, and trouble maintaining muscle mass. According to the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging, seniors who included moderate amounts of whole eggs in their diet had better hormone balance and lipid profiles than those who avoided them. But how you cook eggs matters a lot. Frying in butter or processed oils oxidizes the cholesterol and destroys key nutrients. Boiling or steaming keeps the structure intact making the yolk easier to digest and absorb. Doctor's practical tips. Eat 1 to 2 whole eggs per week, preferably soft or hard-boiled. Don't combine them with bacon or fried food. This cancels the benefits and increases saturated fat load. Pair with fiber-rich foods like spinach, whole grains, or avocado to balance digestion. Stay consistent, don't binge. Nutrients like choline work best when replenished regularly in small doses. In spot number 3, fatty fish skin. Fatty fish skin is loaded with marine collagen, especially type I collagen, which makes up over 90% of the collagen in your tendons, ligaments, and skin. It's also rich in glycine and proline amino acids, critical for tissue repair and elasticity. In a 2022 randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Clinical Rheumatology, adults over 65 who consumed marine collagen from fish skin twice weekly showed a 35% improvement in knee flexibility, reduced stiffness, and better joint mobility within 8 weeks. Another study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that older women who consumed collagen peptides regularly experienced a 20% increase in skin elasticity and a 28% reduction in wrinkle depth, especially when sourced from wild-caught fish skin. These nutrients are naturally concentrated in the skin, not the fillet. Unlike plant-based omega-3s, ALA, the DHA, and EPA found in fish skin are already in active form, ready for your brain to use. According to a 2023 cohort study in Neurology Today, older adults with higher intake of marine-based omega-3s had 21% better short-term memory recall, 18% slower decline in executive function, and significantly less brain shrinkage, especially in areas tied to learning and memory. The study tracked over 40,200 participants aged 65 and older across 5 years. Aging brings natural muscle decline. After age 60, most people lose about 1 to 2% of muscle mass per year, a condition known as sarcopenia. Here's where fish skin shines again. Glycine and proline from fish collagen directly support muscle tissue repair and help preserve mitochondrial function, your cell's energy engines. A 2021 report from the National Institute on Aging noted that older adults who included collagen-rich foods in their diet retained up to 30% more muscle strength over 12 months than those on standard diets. Not to mention, when you pair the skin with the protein-rich fish meat underneath, you get a complete amino acid profile ideal for recovery and maintaining mobility. Smart preparation. Tips for seniors. Grill or bake the skin. Avoid deep frying to prevent oxidative damage. Eat with the fish meat for full-spectrum protein and fat-soluble nutrients. Start with 2 servings per week for most. That's more than enough. Choose wild-caught salmon or mackerel. These contain more nutrients and fewer toxins than farmed fish. Add herbs like dill or lemon to reduce any fishy aftertaste if you're not used to it. In spot number 2, grass-fed beef fat. For decades, doctors told you to stay away from beef fat. But modern science is now saying the exact opposite. Grass-fed beef tallow may actually help seniors burn, belly fat, protect the heart, and rebuild muscles naturally. As a physician who's spent over 30 years treating older patients, I've seen the damage that ultra-processed seed oils can cause. But when we switch to natural fats like grass-fed tallow, used the right way, many of those issues begin to reverse. Let's dig into the science and why this old-school fat deserves a second chance in your kitchen. Grass-fed beef tallow is especially high in stearic acid, a type of saturated fat that behaves very differently from others. Unlike palmitic acid or trans fats, stearic acid has been shown to support mitochondrial function, the power plants inside your cells that burn fat for energy. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Lipid Research found that stearic acid activates a metabolic pathway called mitochondrial fusion, which helps improve fat oxidation. In older adults, this translated to 14% increase in muscle energy output, 9 to 13% reduction in visceral belly fat, no adverse effect on blood lipids. Another study from the University of Texas Health Science Center 2022 concluded that a diet containing moderate amounts of stearic acid helped older participants maintain lean body mass and better endurance, particularly when paired with physical activity. Grass-fed beef tallow is also a rich source of conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, a naturally occurring fatty acid found in the fat of pasture-raised ruminants, like cows. Unlike synthetic CLA found in many supplements, the CLA in tallow is bioavailable and better tolerated. It has been linked to 25 to 30% reduction in inflammatory markers, such as CRP and TNF-alpha. American Journal of Clinical Nutrition 2020. Improved post-exercise muscle recovery in older adults. Lower risk of insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, even in people over age 60. CLA also plays a direct role in immune regulation and joint tissue repair, both of which decline with age. Contrary to decades-old beliefs, not all saturated fat is harmful, and that includes grass-fed beef tallow. The Framingham Offspring Study 2022 found that older adults who consumed moderate saturated fat from whole foods like beef eggs and dairy, especially grass-fed sources, did not have an increased risk of heart disease. In fact, those who included grass-fed meats and fats had lower triglycerides. Their HDL, good cholesterol, was higher, and overall inflammation markers were reduced. What's the difference? It comes down to quality grass-fed beef. Tallow has more omega-3s, vitamin K2, and antioxidants compared to conventional beef fat. In the number one spot, the one we should pay the most attention to, coconut meat. What if just 2 tablespoons of coconut meat a day could help older adults walk longer, reduce leg pain, and recover faster after exercise without any pills? As a doctor in my 60s who's cared for aging patients for over 3 decades, I've learned not to underestimate simple natural foods, especially coconut meat. It's not just a tropical treat. It's a functional fat source that can fuel aging muscles and calm inflammation from the inside out. Let's talk about MCTs, medium-chain triglycerides. Coconut meat is one of the richest natural sources. Unlike long-chain fats that take time to digest, MCTs are absorbed quickly by the liver, where they're turned into energy not stored as fat. According to a 2022 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed MCT-rich coconut products experienced 22% increase in walking endurance, 17% faster post-exercise muscle recovery, and significant reductions in inflammatory markers like IL-6 and CRP. Now think about that. That's real fuel for people struggling with leg fatigue or slow healing. But that's not all. Coconut meat is also high in lauric acid, which has antibacterial and antiviral properties. That means stronger immune function, especially helpful during flu season or after surgery, when seniors are more vulnerable. Here's what I recommend. Add 2-3 tablespoons of unsweetened coconut meat to oatmeal smoothies or Greek yogurt. Look for shredded or fresh coconut, not the sweetened flakes. Avoid frying with coconut oil instead. Use the meat raw or lightly toasted. Combine with protein like whey or tofu to enhance muscle recovery even more. So here's the truth. Some fats heal, but others silently hurt. And after 60, your body simply doesn't have the same margin for error. Creamers that clog seeds, that swell oils, that stress your hormones, and processed meats that inflame your arteries, they can all sneak into your day without you even noticing. But now you know better. Start small. Swap that heavy creamer. Soak your chia. Go easy on the avocado oil. Skip the bacon. Your joints, your heart, your muscles, They'll thank you every step of the way. You don't have to change everything overnight, but you do have to start. And if this helped open your eyes, help someone else too. Like, share, and subscribe to Senior Life, because aging well shouldn't be a secret. Let's age smarter together.